Afternoon, everybody. Good to get a victory. Good to be in front of you guys with a little better news. So, fire away, Ken.
Coach, congratulations.
You're the only guy shows up in person, man. You're awesome.
That's the best. It's the best to be here. And Coach Ken Kraetzer, Canvas Media. I mean, how important was it just to get off to a fast start? I mean, Colgate got out to a little bit of a lead, but then your offense really kicked in. You had to bring in some young players today, but 467 yards rushing. No passing yards is kind of an old-fashioned Army win.
It is. I thought the offense did a nice job responding after they scored a field goal in the opening drive. Obviously having that long run on Jamel and his first play, that was a great spark. Disappointed to see him go right back down the field and score on us again, but we responded and had a lead at halftime. I felt like we really were playing pretty good on offense with the exception of the turnover, and it's just one of those things. We were trying to throw the swing route because they covered the route down the field, and he batted it down and it laid there on the turf just for a split second, and we didn't get on it, and they were smart enough to do that. So unfortunately, I turned into a touchdown again, going the other direction before half, and I was a little disappointed with that. But the defense and what they did in the second half to respond to what they felt like probably wasn't their best performance was really good, and I was glad to see those guys go back out there and shut them out in the second half. And so there's things up and down the line. In the kicking game, obviously we gotta punt the ball better, and we gotta do some things better on offense and defense in every phase. But we're gonna play better teams than the one we face today. So we recognize that, but we're glad to get a win.
Early in the game, Colgate was getting quite a bit of passing yardage, but you were able to force a punt in the second quarter, and then you forced a fumble by Leo Lowen and recovered by Cam Jones. How did you feel the defense then sort of played?
It was good to get some turnovers. I was disappointed just with the way they were starting every drive. The first drive, they got a big play on the opening play of the drive. The second drive, they got a big play on the opening play of the drive. The third drive, they had a 7-yard play and then a long pass to the back, and they just weren't starting the drives very well. And it got them onto our side of the field and made it easier for them to get in scoring position. But it was good to see our guys come up with some turnovers and knock the ball loose and get some interceptions, and the hurry that he kind of tossed up there and that Leo picked off. It was great to see that and we won the turnover battle today. And I don't know that we've won the turnover battle this year yet, so that was a positive.
And just ask about your quarterback play. Jamel Jones went in, ran the ball well, 113 yards. Didn't pass much, but then you have Bryson Daly go in, and how does that set up your quarterback situation?
I was really, really proud of Jamel. And the thing about him, and Coach Worley does a really good job preparing those quarterbacks. He does a good job coaching them. But Jamel's a professional. He prepares and practices daily as if he were the starter. And he really takes that responsibility to heart. I'd like for everybody on our team to prepare like they're a starter, but he does. He knows the offense, he knows the checks. He steps in the huddle and takes command and has the respect of our team. So I'm just really pleased to see him go in there and perform so well, and he did a good job. Ran the ball hard, and great to see that first play, see him pop out of there and go 75 yards.
And Coach, just was a number of the players out today. Tyson Riley out, Jacoby Buchanan, Tyrell Robinson, Andre Carter didn't play today. Tyler Tyler's out, Kate Ballard. How does it feel that your younger players stepped up in so many key spots in the lineup?
There were a lot of guys playing that hadn't played very much football. Some guys got starts for the first time and significant playing time, and it was good to see those guys respond and play well. And I'm disappointed that we got so many guys out, but hopefully, because they didn't play today, we didn't have to get them into the game, force them into the game, that they're going to get a little healthier for next week. And as I said, the team playing next week is a lot more talented and a lot more athletic and better better football team than the one we just played today. So we're gonna have to play better, and hopefully have some of those guys back.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Ken.
Emily?
Thank you. Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. How does this win, like you said, you're glad to give us good news here, Dave. We're glad to see the win as well, and it brings you out of, a little bit of the skid you were in, and now you can look ahead and try and build on that momentum. So what does this win mean for the trajectory of the season?
Every victory is fun to celebrate. A football game is really hard to win. And you only look at the season so far. I mean, the first couple of weeks of this football season, there were 7 or 8 or 9 FCS teams that beat FBS teams. It's hard to win a game. And they've got talented guys over there. And as I said earlier in the week, guys we recruited. So I was proud of our guys finding a way to win and performing like we did, especially in the second half on defense. And hopefully it just, the feeling of victory is going to be contagious, and the guys are, they know how much it hurts when we lose, and hopefully having that feeling after we win that they're going to be fighting with everything they got to try to have that feeling again next Saturday.
I noticed in the stadium, even earlier today, that there's a lot of fanfare around, obviously, the Air Force game, which is a very important game for the program, for the history, but you have a game before that. Do you find it, how do you keep the guys focused on the next game and not ahead to those Service Academy games that do mean a lot?
We're a 2-4 football team that's desperate to win, and every game at this point is like the playoffs for us. We've got to play every week and play our best, and our guys don't ever look ahead of what's right in front of them. This game, they know how good a team Louisiana Monroe is, how athletic they are. They only got to flip on the film. They're going to see a team that runs a lot faster and is way more athletic than the one we just faced, and the one we faced today gave us some problems. So there's going to be plenty for us to work on and get healthy. And when you have a lot of guys that are playing for the first time and playing for injured players, their sense of urgency to try to raise their game so that they can perform for their teammates is such that they're not even thinking about who we play. Our guys are far less concerned about who we play than how we play, and that's healthy for our team.
It was a great showing, fans and the atmosphere, and a lot of people argue that this is one of the greatest atmospheres in college football, myself included. I flew all the way from California to see it. What would you say, and obviously you're in support of that, but what do you think makes it so special and makes it such an incredible environment?
The history here, the hallowed grounds that this stadium sits on, and it's a National Historic Landmark carved out of the side of a mountain with dynamite and mules and wooden trucks and guys with overalls, and there's been national championship teams and Heisman Trophy winners and legendary coaches. We got the Daly family here. Charles Daly was a great coach here, and there's been so many legendary people that have played in this stadium, and the responsibility that we bear to carry on that tradition and that legacy, and that's what makes it great. And I think for people that come here to watch a game, somebody said it's a little bit like Disneyland. They come once a year, and they make their pilgrimage to West Point to see the parade and the march on and the parachutes flying out of the sky, and hopefully see our team win. And I think it's just really special to be here on this ground, on the Hudson River, where our founding fathers decided this was going to be an important strategic place to set up shop and defend our nation. And frankly, I think every American should come visit West Point at some time in their life. It's an incredible place. So I'm really proud to be a part of it, and be proud to be a part of this team, and to be able to represent West Point and the United States Army as I do as a coach.
Thank you.
4ID.
Hello, sir. Sergeant Kelsey Simmons with the 4th Infantry Division.
First of all, congratulations on the win, and I'm glad to be here for a winning game, highlighting our division. So thank you for that, sir.
Thanks for your service.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask just one question. How does it feel to be highlighting such a storied and legendary division, such as the 4th Infantry Division?
It makes us incredibly proud to wear the patch of the Division of the Week each week. And there are hundreds of thousands of men and women who serve our nation in the United States Army. And the uniform we wear out there on Saturday afternoons is their uniform. It's an Army uniform. And it is with great pride that we put that patch on our helmet. And our guys are very conscious of who they represent. Our guys go out and play for each other. And I think that's probably the case with an Army unit. An Army unit trains together and they live together and they work together every day and they go through hard times together and challenges, and that develops a bond and a closeness within those units. And our guys are the same way. And they go out and fight for each other just as an Army unit goes out and fights for each other. But we're one of those units in the Army that goes out and does their job to represent all the other men and women who serve alongside of us and wear the same uniform. So it's a personal sense of pride for me. I didn't serve in the Army. Probably one of the great regrets of my life that I didn't serve my nation in the uniform, but in some way, this is my way to serve and my opportunity to serve and to develop these young men and women that we touch in this program and at this institution. Because I know my leadership is going to go beyond this locker room and beyond this academy into the Army, and that's a great sense of responsibility, and it gives me great pride to be able to represent the men and women that serve in this way.
Thank you, Coach.
Connor, go ahead on Zoom.
Okay, Joe, you can start.
Good afternoon, Coach Monken. Congratulations on the win. Joe Iacono with GoBlackKnights.com. First question, you hit on some of the injuries to some of the key players earlier with Ken, specifically at the quarterback position. Was the decision to start Jamel with Tyler and Ballard, did it have something to do with health, or was there another reason you decided to go with Jamel today?
Well, certainly because Tyler was out, and Cade and Jamel took the bulk of the reps this week as the 1 and 2, and we really just kind of put it back on them to compete for the job. And we really felt like Jamel performed well enough this week in practice that he deserved the opportunity to get the start. And as it turns out, Cade last week against Wake Forest hurt his forefinger, and it was doing pretty good. It was in pretty good shape. And then yesterday in our practice, which we're out there every Friday, and he had a ball hit his finger and I guess re-injured it, and he'll get it worked back out, but it's pretty painful, and he was in a lot of pain yesterday, and our trainers worked on it for the last 24 hours, and it just wasn't where it needed to be for him to be able to play. So as it turned out, Jamel did earn the start, but he really kind of had to go the distance for us until we got Bryson in there.
And my follow-up and final question, as you mentioned, the defense struggled a little in the first half, but got the shutout in the second half. Did you see some things that kind of gave you hope going forward as far as the defense is concerned, or that you can build on going through the rest of the season?
Just shutting them out in the second half was positive, and they got it down there scoring position. They went for it because it was because of the score. They probably would have, in a normal circumstance, or the first half, kicked a field goal. But yet we did stop them, and that was a positive for us. There are a lot of things on defense that we need to do better. Block destruction, tackling, just being out of position a couple times in the passing game. There's more things than I can go through sitting here in front of this microphone, but We got a great defensive staff, and I think Nate Woody's an outstanding defensive coordinator, and he works as hard as anybody in the country to prepare our guys, and I know he's disappointed as well, and nobody takes it to heart more than he does, and he'll work with our guys, and hopefully we'll make the improvements we need to be able to play better next week. Like I said, we're going to need to.
Thanks, Coach Monken.
Thank you, Joe.
Go ahead, Ken.
Hi, Jeff. Ken McMillan from The Record. Jamel obviously had a great day today. What makes Jamel so successful? And what were your thoughts on the brief appearance by Bryson Daly?
Jamel's a professional. He prepares. He knows our offense. Studies like he's a starter every day, every week. Practices that way. He steps in the huddle. He takes command. He's a talented guy, good runner, good thrower, and he's just over the course of his career, he's a senior, so he's had a lot of reps in practice and limited reps in games, but he was ready, and I was really proud of him. And I think Bryson Daly's going to be a good quarterback. I'm excited about him. Obviously, we got 3 senior quarterbacks that are going to graduate, so I expect he's going to be our quarterback of the future. And it was fun to watch him go in there and play. He runs really hard, and he does throw the ball well. We threw that boot pass there late to Miles and threw it behind him a little bit. Wasn't a great throw, but again, I think just more reps and being more seasoned, he's going to perform well.
That's it for Coach.
That's it for me. They're telling me. Everybody have a good afternoon.